All right, that's on.
Well, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Breaking the Baits episode. Which one are we on now? 105, I believe.
Which one? 105, 107?
Yeah, we could be way up there.
Yeah, 107. Episode 107.
107. 107 episodes, folks. It's myself, Madam B, and Narik. Well, he just kind of took off on us, so we get to talk about it all. I saw that. But oh, look, there's hands everywhere.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You had to go fix the lighting, didn't you? But yeah, today is going to be an interesting one. We're going to hit the way back machine. When I say way back,
we are going to be discussing Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
It was on before I was born, so I could even talk about this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you got on the graphic novels. Okay, Tuesday we tried to shoot this video and it messed up for some reason.
I was very disappointed.
Oh.
But now we're bringing it back, and we decided that Ken's going to be the third party here because them two know more about Gilligan's Island than
I love Gilligan's Island. We ought to do like a series like Gilligan's Island, The Addams Family, The Munsters.
Monsters Off the Chain.
The classic what would be at my time after school episodes.
Yeah.
During the summertime, which is where these shows were actually really designed to come in during the summer times. Because Gilligan's Island started back in 1964 and ended in 1967, so it had a pretty good run.
Yeah, with 3 seasons, but there was some, movies, I guess.
Yep. There were 4 movies.
Yeah, 4 movies.
And 3 seasons, and they still never got off the damn island.
Right. Well, they did
in twice. The last episode with the coconut and the meteor, I think. It's been a little while. And it wasn't the original Ginger in that one either.
No.
Tina Louise didn't play that. There's actually been 4 Gingers total, if I remember right. Nerd. So let's throw our cast out there. For those who don't know Gilligan's Island. Gilligan's Island was a short 3-hour tour and ended up stranding 6 people on an island of an unknown. We don't know where it's at. Somewhere off of Hawaii is all we know. Mm-hmm. We had Gilligan, which was the first mate, the really goofy character. We had the skipper, who was the man in charge. Well, sort of man in charge. I mean, it was his boat, but he wrecked it.
I still say he looks like that guy from The Heat of the Night.
Well, no, that's Alan Hale. Alan Hale Jr. was the skipper. His dad was actually more known for westerns and stuff. A lot of the old things. Jim Backus, who was the wealthy millionaire, Mr. Howell, and his wife, Mrs. Howell. Lovey. Who else travels with $2 or $3 million in their suitcases? I mean, come on.
I know, right?
They had drug dealers because there's no other way they would have did that.
Oh, there's some really interesting facts about them. But you might also know Jim Backus as the voice of Mr. Magoo, if you ever watched any of the old cartoons. And he actually went in a lot of cartoons.
Oh, yeah. The short guy, his eyes was always closed.
Well, you can never see. He's blind as a bat, but, you know.
I got a special little something for the fans out there, just for this show, okay? And I hope you enjoy it too, Ken.
What we got? Theme music.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, how would that tie in with Gilligan's Island?
It does not in the slightest.
Zero.
It doesn't really catch a beat. I'm sorry, people.
Okay, thanks. Ass.
Wow, I completely lost. Ginger Grant, the movie star, and of course the professor, who was the super smart character. He could make anything out of coconuts.
MacGyver.
Yeah, it was the MacGyver, coconuts and bamboo. Man, that was the ongoing gag through the whole TV series. Was coconuts and bamboo. They could build anything out of it. And of course, we had our little country girl, Marianne. And then that was pretty much all our cast. So we had a little bit of everything in there. And everything happened to these guys.
Everything.
That is not a joke. I was just sitting here trying to go through. Gosh, they had all kind of stuff. Oh wow, all the guest stars on Gilligan's Island. I mean, I'm looking at some of these people. I don't even know who all of those people are either.
I know some of them.
Well, I know we had the Globetrotters.
I still don't understand that.
Well,
and there was a music group on there that was Mosquitoes, but they had a real name.
like
the Wellingtons.
On there.
I mean, I understand that. It's called The Perfect Storm.
No, you said you don't understand how they got on the island or the guest stars.
The whole Globetrotters bit. I'm not. Now I realize this is a show it's comedy, suspension of disbelief, and it's just it's just fun. But I gotta pick at it sometimes.
It was a fun show. You had all these different. I mean, you had musical guests who showed up. You had all the kid who couldn't speak, and they had the silent movie. I mean, Wrong Way Feldman, the guy who's been flying around and has no idea where he's at. I mean, you just
wait. Didn't I see that episode?
How do you talking about the guy who crashed on the island and stayed there? They call him one way. What was it?
Wrong way Feldman.
Yeah, Wrong Way Feldman. The thing was, they were on that island. He managed to hide from them, or vice versa. And then in what season was it that they found him? It was in the first season, but they've been on an island for like weeks, and it's like that. To them, the island is so big because they have so many unexplored territory. But it's like, okay, come on, y'all found this cave and that cave with the gold, the cave with the giant spider,
the cave with the monkey man,
the monkey man, yeah.
The jungle kid. They had a jungle kid.
What was the one where there was somebody? It was like some kind of wild dude that was following him or something like that. Didn't they he kept darting them or something?
Oh, was that the Japanese guy?
Remember, I watched when we was watching it.
Oh,
yeah, they had a Japanese guy. He stayed on there. He said he's been on that island since after the war.
Well, he didn't know the war had ended. He had still been there.
Yeah, he didn't know the war had ended. So, and then they
wait. I just thought about something very important. How long were they on that island and all of this? And they seen all of this stuff.
Well, the actual showtime was 3 years. In time, I don't know how long it was in their time, TV time.
And they didn't know where they were, did they?
Nope. No, I had no idea.
People managed to make their way to the island.
Y'all sure this wasn't Skull Island?
Oh my god!
there was no monsters though. No Mothra or Gunga Dan.
That was on the north side of the tracks.
The closest monster that they did encounter was the giant spider, I think.
Yep. I think that was the biggest one, and then the 8-man dude that was running around.
And then I think maybe the first or second episode of the second season, the bat that supposedly bit Gilligan.
Yeah, because he thought he was a vampire hiding in the cave and everything. And then they had the little what was the little car, the golf cart they built out of bamboo.
Okay, I do remember that because he would like pedal it and
he pedaled, drove around the howls all over the place.
Yeah, that was
just anything you could build out of headphones power. They had the old bicycle that powered the radio.
Yeah,
they would always sit at the table and eat bananas and whatever, and then they would listen to the radio, trying to figure out what was going on in the world.
If that dude was that inventive. I'm quite sure he could have built a raft.
Well, yeah, but the thing was, they did the raft. They had rebuilt the boat with the glue.
But it found out it fell apart, so the whole boat fell apart after that.
Yeah, they had basically done all of that, but the thing was, they didn't. It's like, okay, we send Gilligan and the skipper out. That's what they did in the first season. We sent Gilligan and skipper out. It's like they didn't know where they was. So it's like, I can build this, but we don't know where we are. But people still managed to come to the uncharted island where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, they flew in. They came in submarines. They came in boats. Hot air balloons.
Yeah. Yeah, the woman came in a yacht.
Yeah.
wasn't there somebody came in a hot air balloon one time? Or was it the plane guy?
Well, the kid that couldn't talk.
They built the balloon.
Yeah, they built the balloon because they found a gas thing. They built the balloon, and then they found a Jungle Boy who couldn't speak, but they made like a silent movie, and so they sent a silent movie with him. Yeah. And when they got there, they found the movie, but they thought it was a joke. It was a long lost 10. So all them trying to get off the island, it still never worked. Mm-hmm. It was a silent movie.
It was quite funny too. It was very funny.
The only episode I actually remember is because we watched it a few months ago. Still the one where the whole Gilligan duplicate.
Oh, the robot?
That's like that was like a Russian spy.
Yeah.
And I did like how they did the whole like the two Gilligans would be in the same scene, but they would do it to where you wouldn't necessarily see one's face.
Yeah, that was second season. So they was trying to find out, are these people spies on the island? Like, what are they doing there?
And he was talking to a spoon like he's Dr. Who.
Oh, yeah. All the spy gadgets. Then they found a robot. There was a robot that landed on the island. I think it was part of the space program.
Yeah, and they managed to mess that up somehow with Gilligan. Managed to...
Well, almost every time, it's always Gilligan's fault for messing up something.
Rabbit's foot inside the robot.
Yeah.
So that messed that up. With the message they were trying to get out.
Me and her, when we was watching Gilligan's Island, was one thing that I kept noticing, and I was trying not to be critical about it, but kind of irk at me a little bit. I'm like, okay, Gilligan's an idiot.
Yep.
I don't like him because he's an idiot. The skipper was worse. Because he wasn't stupid, he was just so overbearing. Like, and he was lazy. He had to be the laziest character to me. Because he could be like, Gilligan, let's go pick up this coconut. The coconut right there by his foot. And then he wouldn't be nice about it. He was like, hey man, my back hurt because you picked this coconut up. He'd be like, Gilligan! No matter what he was doing. Gilligan! Do it now! I'm like, gosh, dude. And I was messing with her because I was like, all right. Gilligan over here talking to Marianne. Okay, maybe they're gonna be some romantic interest come up. Skipper came over there hating. He's yelling at Gilligan. I'm like, let this man talk to this girl for a minute.
There's only three women on the whole island and 3 guys. Come on.
I'm like, can he not sleep in the hut with you for one night?
Wow.
I'm just
and he's always like, beating. He's always beating it with his damn hat too.
Yeah. I'm like, you're just so abusive. If there was anyone I want stuck on that island, it's probably you.
I don't think there was, besides Mr. and Mrs. Howell and what Ginger did to get her way by flirting.
Yeah.
There was
flirting.
There was, I don't think there was between them.
I think the Professor and Marianne were having it. I'm pretty sure the Professor and Marianne were working things out.
I like the Professor. That's the one
stuck up for either one of them.
Too. I like the Professor. He came up there acting like he had that knowledge. He was like, well, if we go ahead and just wrap this rope around this tree, and we can slide on up this tree, we can get these coconuts ASAP. And have his shirt all open with the hairy chest and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Put the little coconut oil on. I'm like, I'm sorry. Go ahead with what you were saying.
No, I'm just saying.
He's emotionally stirred.
People would automatically go after Ginger as a thing, but Marianne was a silent one. She hardly spoke. So maybe, when she spoke, it was kind of like timid. She was like a timid one. But, to be honest, and I'm not, like that, but if you would actually look at Ginger and Marianne was actually the cute one and had like the body for Ginger. Ginger just had the face.
Yeah, Marianne, when we was watching, I was like, yeah, Ginger, she kind of thick. And like Marianne had that.
How can you call Ginger thick?
You say kinda.
No, ain't no kinda to it.
No, if you actually look at them, like when I say kind of thick, I don't mean she was like super thick. I mean she was thicker. Her body was better built than
she was much taller. Marianne had them
And did y'all?
cheerleader.
Oh, before I forget, because I want to talk about this Tuesday, I actually heard an interview on the guy that came up with the premise for the show. The dude that directed it and stuff. Like he was talking about how they came up with the premise, how they came up with the actual intro. But I thought it was a very good. It was a really good interview. I don't know why the hell I was listening to it.
Well, you want to enlighten us? This is what they were saying.
Oh, I forgot. That was like 3 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
You watched it, but I forgot about 3 years ago.
It was on the BBC. Not the BBC. It was on the Mississippi. What you call it? That
PBS?
MPB radio. And they had a segment where they interviewed like movie directors, TV show developers, and book writers. And that was one of the interviews I remember hearing. Well, I remember hearing, but I just don't remember what they said.
Okay.
Ginger. That was a little tidbit. I don't know.
Anyway. Until he finds what he's looking for.
Oh, what was that?
It was actually pretty good episodes. I have watched all 3 seasons. Even I watched one where they had the movie where they got rescued. Oh my goodness, really?
I'm sorry.
Okay, where they got rescued off the island and was trying to live normal lives and then end up getting shipwrecked back on the island. So
yep,
I've seen that.
Yeah, there was rescue from Gilligan's Island.
Right, I take that back.
1978. That's when they get rescued and everybody's happy, but they end up getting stuck on the island again. There's the Castaways of Gilligan's Island, which was in 1979. They're rescued again from the island, but then they return to voluntarily build a resort on the island.
Mm-hmm.
Harlem Globetrotters on the island. Then let's see.
I gotta admit, you're right. She didn't have no shape at all. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Here you go. That's what I'm talking about.
It was like, okay. I always thought that Marianne, she kind of like Gilligan a little bit, but Gilligan was so dang stupid.
He was stuck on Ginger. He was stuck on Ginger. Yeah. And Ginger always messed with him. And then she would like touch his nose or something. He'd always hit his head on a beam or a coconut or something. Every time she would come up and approach him and touch him, and he'd always break his freaking head.
Here go one of those moments where I'm looking at the skipper with the side eye. Go ahead and show you. What is the skipper doing?
Yeah.
He's plotting evil.
Back up, Skipper. Let this man get some room. He like narrate the kiss and stuff.
Oh, little buddy.
Right.
Let me go ahead and take this off. Oh my god.
So I didn't know that 6 women have actually played Ginger. I thought it was maybe like 2.
I thought it was 4.
Yeah, they said 6.
I mean, she had a lot of makeup on, and
but they said that Tina Louise, she just got it down. Really, that's why they cast her. She just really,
there was a lot of famous people who had gone after her spot, but they just kind of just didn't hit it right where they were looking for.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna ask y'all some hard-hitting questions right now while I'm at it. Do you think they should do a reboot?
No.
All
right.
No,
do you think that show can stand the test of time nowadays?
Not with today's youth.
Okay.
I mean, I of course, okay, he said today's youth, but I still watch it. So.
I watch it, but I grew up with it. You know, I mean, it was out even before I was born, but I still watch it. And I still love the show. But your crowd of people today, you know what? I'm 45, so probably within anybody 40 and above would have seen that show on a pretty regular basis, and even summer. Anything younger than that, I'd be surprised if they've ever even heard of Gilligan's Island, to be honest.
I say about 30.
because I mean, like I say, when I was a kid, this was the stuff I watched during the summer. When I came home from school, you had the Munsters, Addams Family, Gilligan's Island, and there was one other show, and I cannot think of it at the moment. But one of those three would usually always be on. You get 2 episodes of each, and that was like when you got home from school about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and they would go to like 6, and that was what you watched.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, I grew up with that. But I mean, nowadays, will Gilligan's Island? I doubt it. I mean, most kids are looking for, or even people now are looking for something more than that. They want, super mega visuals or something crazy or whatever. They just don't know how to react to something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just, it sucks because it's good. It's good stuff. It's kind of like when people watch the Twilight Zone, the original Rod Serling Twilight Zone.
I ain't gonna lie, that Twilight Zone went hard.
But you had, they didn't have great special effects. I mean, very few special effects were kind of cheesy, but it was all about the story and the writing and the actors and how they carried the story. That's what made that show what it is. Mm-hmm. Now everybody wants to throw something, you want to throw all those visuals in there and not do good writing. You just want to crap it out with visuals. And that's why I say the Gilligan's Island is a timeless classic, just like the Munsters and Addams Family.
Just like I Love Lucy. I Love
Lucy. I mean, any of those great old shows, the Dick Van Dyke Show, any of that stuff. That's when, TV was what we consider wholesome,
I said about I Love Lucy. I was like, she was in an abusive relationship.
Lucy got some splaining to do.
I will admit, she was watching it and I was watching it with her. And I'm like, and Lucy got hard, man. That was a surprisingly funny show. I was thinking
it's good. It was good comedy, good writing. You had good stories. Yeah. You had great characters and excellent actors.
Like it when you're a kid, but when you get older, your view might change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I'm objective about it because I haven't seen it like that. I was like, this show is surprisingly funny.
It is, and a lot of them are, and most people have no idea the bounty of great shows that are out there. But all they want to see is blood, guts, gore, action, and sex. That's all. That's what people want to see. Even kids now want to see that stuff. And you have great shows like Gilligan's Island. Yeah, it's corny. Yeah, it's crazy. But you know what? It was good. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was great. Everybody.
I still kind of had trouble with kind of letting go of that critical eye with the show.
But see, you got to remember though, you're watching it at how old now?
30.
So at 30, you're watching a show that was from the 1960s. So your point of view now seeing it, but say maybe you watched it as a kid, I think your views would definitely change as you grow older. But, I'm like a big kid. I like to watch the show and I still laugh at it. And I'm not watching the show going, you know what, he would have never done that. He would have never slapped that kid around, because you don't think about it. You just let it go.
I try to bring myself in from that. Like we was watching the Monsters. I was like, okay, I was into it. Maybe because the Monsters was something I kind of watched and I still like it.
It's hilarious.
We was watching I Love Lucy. That one was good to me. We was watching Wonder Woman.
The old Linda Carter version?
Yeah.
I can't. Let me let that
go.
Well,
there's two versions of that. There's the Linda Carter, and there was actually one before her.
It was the Linda Carter.
Okay. Yeah, I used to watch that all the time too.
I couldn't help it. I can't help it. I can still get frustrated. Which I don't understand, because I like the Hulk.
The original Hulk TV series with David Banner, not Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I love that.
The music always kills me. Every time at the end of the show when they start playing that music and he's walking down the road, that still gets me.
I think it's because even though it was kind of cheesy, it was kind of serious. In the Linda Carter Wonder Woman, it's cheesy, but it's not serious. We was watching an episode where the Nazis finally had accomplished something that they wanted. And I was like, yes, they're going to win. At least something. And what did the woman say? The woman that was on the team, the bad guy team?
They wanted Wonder Woman.
She said, drop everything that we have accomplished this whole entire episode. I do not care about that. I want Wonder Woman. And I was like,
what?
What?
Why would you do that?
Like, at least send these guys to finish the mission while you try to capture Wonder Woman. She was like, no, what we did before wasn't important at all. We wasted that whole episode doing that.
We killed all these people for no reason.
But and like stuff like that, you know, she's a fan of it. I like the ideas behind it. I just don't like the execution because it's kind of.
Well, you got to remember, it's 1960s and 1970s TV.
Yeah,
cannot compare.
Trying to rewire it.
You've got to go into there and watch it with an open mind, like you would. Like in my case, you know, I was a kid when I watched those shows, so to me it was like, ooh, the big action and the invisible jet, and she's whooping that dude's butt, and she's all secret identity. Yeah. You know, you have that whole mindset is completely different.
Yeah, but like I said, it was a lot of interesting concepts behind the Gilligan's Island that I like too, like them being on the island, the comedy behind, like the idea of the comedy, yes, the characters, yes, and me personally, I would like to kind of see a reboot of it.
I'd be scared they would lose the essence of. They would lose the essence of the show, I think, if they ever rebooted it.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, the reboot can't be as goofy as that one. It wouldn't work that way.
Okay, so what would it be?
It'd have to be clever. Like there are movies that are stuff with stuff like this, and there's comedy behind it, and they're good.
You have to understand the time of Gilligan and what they were trying to do.
I understand that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like if they did do a reboot, they can't hang on to that. If they had a reboot of this, it has to be actually clever.
So then it wouldn't be okay. Everybody be when you hear Gilligan's Island, or
it'd be like me watching Lost all over again.
No, you can have
Lost with a comedy accent to it.
Because think about it. Look at like this. It could be a serious movie but have comedic moments. And I know it's kind of a mock movie, but look at Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2. They were serious. They had serious themes to them. People they get killed and all that, but they were funny, and a lot of the jokes were clever.
Doing the thing off of Scream.
That's what I'm saying. You can have this because there are shows where it's all about the writing. It's clever. Okay, Gilligan's up there trying to chop off some coconuts. He falls, and then the coconuts hit him in the balls or something like that, or he get up and the coconut hit him in the head. No, I'm not talking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, I would really like to hear more of your idea on that, but
you don't want me to do that.
Okay,
I'll take over the show. I don't want to do
that. Okay, Ken, can I ask who your favorite and least favorite character was on Gilligan?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Depends on who. I love the Howls. I always loved the Howls because they never wore the same outfit in any episode, ever. Never, ever wore the same outfit. The Howls and just the way they carried themselves, I always enjoyed. It was good fun. I liked the professor because he was a smart character, but I think he was underplayed a lot in the series. And then of course Gilligan getting always beat up all the time. But you know, everybody had their little part, but I kind of stuck with the Howls. I think as one of my favorite characters on there, just because they were so eccentric and they were always above everybody, but yet they were still stuck on the island. No matter how much money they had, they could never buy them way off the island.
All right.
So you know, I liked it. I liked the good comedy, and the Skipper beating the crap out of the of Gilligan a lot.
I got 3 favorite characters, and I can't admit this. I like the professor because it was a G. I like Mrs. Howell because even though she was rich, she tended to get her hands dirtier than the husband.
Yeah, she did.
And I like Mary Ann. Those are my 3 favorites. Now, obviously, I don't like Skipper and I don't like Gilligan. But that's me.
Well, you did kind of take my 2.
Which one? You didn't like Skipper and Gilligan too?
No. This is Howell.
You go. Hey, remember when we did this? I already announced that the other day when we did it.
I announced Mrs. Howell first before you did it.
Oh, go ahead. No, we can still go.
It's fine. But yeah, my favorite character was Mrs. Howell because it wasn't because that, you know, what he said she did like to get her hands dirty. It's like she wasn't scared. You know, it's like she was taking care of Mr. Howell. Like when he got scared, like, you know, at the part where he would faint and clutch his teddy bear.
Yes, the teddy bear. What do you call him? Snug. God, what's the name of the teddy bear?
I forgot.
Man. He had a name for that teddy bear. Hold on. I'm gonna find that. But yeah.
That Teddy.
Teddy. I think it was Teddy. I think it was just Teddy. I'm trying to see if I can find it here real quick. Oh, come on.
But yeah, she liked to, yeah, you know, the way she would like take care of them, and then just like, okay, when she noticed something was wrong, she would like stand and, you know, she'd go and confront them. I like when she did that. You know, like, what's going on here? You know, why is Mr. Howell running away? You know, crap like that. Like when he faked his own death. That was that was a good one.
Well, she was like, you know, she was wealthy, rich, beyond anybody's comparison. But yeah, she was willing to get her hands dirty. She actually even was helping dig a garden, I think, at one time. Mm-hmm. You know, she wasn't afraid, and she wasn't actually worried about their situation. She was just going with what they had. Mm-hmm. And his name was Teddy. Just call him Teddy.
Oh, I got a good comparison for y'all when it comes to a reboot for this.
The 100?
Nah. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Think about it. They were on the island, but it was all these wacky stuff that was happening on the island. I wanted to be a mix of Dead Man's Chest. Wow, everybody just got quiet. Like, I want to see a part where Gilligan, a bunch of alligators, and he gets out of it being goofy. That's what I want to see.
Skipper!
Wow, he gonna kill you.
Okay,
they're alligators, you moron.
How much time do we have?
Oh, shoot,
about 20 minutes.
Okay. Favorite episodes, or you got one or two?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh, I like the one with the little Japanese soldier. And I think I would have to go with a frustrating episode was the one where they did the silent movie and the little kid who couldn't talk. I mean, there's a lot of them out there, but I always remember the little Japanese soldier always stuck in my head because when he got out in the submarine, he still didn't know which way he was going because he couldn't see. His freaking glasses were so freaking thick.
Right.
But yeah, that one and the vampire episode too was kind of funny too because it was kind of a different episode. But he kept thinking he was a vampire. Gilligan thought he was a vampire because of the bat bite. But yeah, I think those would kind of stick in my head. And that's from long way back.
Of course, I do like the Russian one. Wasn't there one where they was trying to put on a play?
They made that movie for the silent movie.
Yeah, and then they were. It wasn't actually. The man had came to the island. He was a movie star.
He was a movie director or something like that. Yeah, that's the one I kept thinking of.
Like a musical play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cause didn't he say he was going to fire up a flare and they was going to come and get him? But then when everybody was asleep, he left.
Another one. That was the one with the man who was trying to find the butterfly.
They were drinking, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's a big move.
Well, they always got screwed.
Yeah, they were the ones that were drinking. And he was like, I forgot what nationality he was. What, British?
I think he was British.
Oh, the showman. I know what you're talking about.
You ain't talking about Hugh Jackman, are you?
No. The I think that was what they called that episode. With the
I'm sorry, I didn't know that Hugh Jackman got the movie. Came on the show, but
no, that's the Greatest Showman.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I want to see that too.
I like the second Ginger Grant, where Marianne hit her head, and all of a sudden she's just obsessed with Ginger, and she wanted to become Ginger. Like all this time on the island. So she and then Ginger had to become Marianne. It was funny to me. The Hunter, where the hunter came to the island, and he was hunting animals. Now he wanted to hunt man.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that was funny. Well, to me it was. And I also like Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow. That episode, I was on the floor. Gilligan woke up bald. Skipper woke up bald. But the thing was,
didn't I see that episode with you? I think so.
But what made it so funny to me was you could see the things they had put on their head to make them bald, and you could see it just coming up just a little bit. So it was funny to me. I'm like, oh my God, you can just clearly see that that's a thing on their head.
The big rubber thing on your head, get it off.
Right. But yeah, that was funny. I wouldn't say my 3 favorites, but there were some good ones that made me laugh.
They had a lot of episodes. I didn't realize how many episodes there were. There was a lot.
Watched them all. Got all 3 seasons.
Yeah, there's episodes I don't even remember seeing. Wow.
I ain't here because I don't remember watching.
Well, I watched them. I mean, but it's been a long time. And I'm just kind of going through going, yeah. Okay, I remember that when Gilligan's tooth becomes a radio when his filling gets knocked loose. So they have to keep his mouth open to listen to everything. And he's like tired of hearing it. When he sleeps, Skipper's always beating the crap out of him because it always sounds like that.
Did y'all notice that the Marianne character had a weird tan to her?
She always had a tan.
Well, okay. In the 3rd season, me and my sister was watching it. When we went back and actually, when it turned the color in the 2nd season, I think we was like, okay, she didn't have that in the 2nd, but in the 3rd season, it got darker.
Yeah.
But Ginger did not get no darker. So I'm like, well, they got a tanning bed on the island that only she used. But yeah, she got a lot darker as the seasons went on. Marianne did.
She got reverse Revelago or something?
No.
I'm like, looking, I'm like.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Well, black and white, you couldn't tell. So because she was a farm girl, so she would have been outside working all the time. So that's why Ginger always wore dresses. Right. And was
I'm like looking at it. I'm like,
yeah, but the 2nd season, they were like Ginger and Marianne. They were like the same color, but in the 3rd season, you could tell that Marianne got darker. Like she had got a really good tan.
I'm like looking at it. I'm like, I can't tell if she got a tan or if I'm looking at Kelly from The Office.
I mean, it was like that, or they put makeup all over her body.
Or something happened.
Oh, hey, you remember the episode Waiting for Watubi?
What was in it?
You know when Gilligan dressed up as Watubi? When Skipper was sick? Come on now.
Hold on. My brain is like mush. I'm trying to remember that whole Watubi.
Come on, now, look up the episode.
I know there was a witch doctor on there.
Yeah, the witch doctor. Gilligan had when Skipper was having all the bad luck, and he was like, "It's Watubi." God. And then he had hit his head, and he was like, "Only Watubi can get this off of me."
Drawing a blank. Hang on, let me see if I can catch something. I don't know him by name. I know what happens. I never paid attention to that. Let's see what the Watubi. I could see a thing where he dressed up all crazy like in my head, but
yeah, he kept
and he was doing some little dance or some weird thing all the time.
Yeah, powder in Skipper's face.
Oh, okay. I think I remember that one now. All right, I think I'm with you.
That was a really funny one.
Wait, this the vampire one?
That's season 3.
Yeah, I did watch that.
Yeah, when Gilligan had that dream.
Okay, that episode was pretty funny.
Okay, I remember the Watubi. All right. I remember it. He had to put the big old buffalo horns and all that crazy stuff. Yes.
That was funny.
But what makes, in your opinion, y'all guys' opinion, what makes this show so memorable? Is it the concept? Is it the humor? Is it the cast? Is it the itself? Do you think it's the outrageous antics and stories that they have to deal with? What is it that makes it stick within y'all mind? That keeps it. What about it? Does it have that je ne sais quoi, that charm?
Well,
je ne quoi.
Well, the humor is a big part of it because the fact that they were stuck on this island with only the clothes on their back, some of them, except for Mr. and Mrs. Howell. Yeah. But as the episodes went on, you find them, except for Gilligan and Skipper, changing clothes, getting all this stuff. You know, it's like, is a magic? Is something coming down? Are they dropping bags of clothes on the island just to see?
Yeah, where did Ginger and Marianne get the swimsuits and the
exactly.
and Ginger all the extra stuff from?
Right. So and everything that happened. Okay, how come they haven't explored this cave before? Why are they just now finding this? So yes, all the episode is something new. It's something different. It's like got them thinking, are we going to get off the island? And then like at the very end, no, you're not.
Yeah, you knew that they were not going to leave the island. That was just always a given. What I always liked, because it was never the same thing twice. You never got the same story. They're stuck on the island. They're trying to get off the island. But what's going to show up next? Are we going to have a rocket fall down on the island with an astronaut in it? Or are we going to have somebody pull up in a boat and pull something off? Are we going to have, what's going to happen? What weird things?
They did have, what was it? Was it a bomb or something that Gilligan had to,
that was a rocket. It was a missile, I think, from the Navy or somebody shot it over there, and he was the only one that could figure out how to disarm it or whatever. Gilligan of all people. And it was not, as I said, the goal was the same. We know what it was, but everything that happened was always different. You never got the same thing twice. It was always either some new guest star or some new lavish plot or something that's going on in general on the island itself. And, and then, of course, you have all the interactions amongst all the characters and what's going on. So you always knew Gilligan was going to get beat. Yeah, that was a guaranteed. Ginger was always going to try to do something to get Gilligan to do something for her. And then the Howells, of course, were always doing something to keep their social status no matter where they were at. So
exactly.
And it was fun. It was great. That's why I said it was never the same thing twice, which is what which is why I liked it. I liked the funny parts and stuff. So for me, that was the magic of the show. It was always something different, always something new.
I need to get on. I need to take my mind out of Mr. critiquing mode.
I mean, if you can actually do that, I find that hard.
Watch it open. Some people have a hard time doing that. I mean, granted, I watched it when I was a kid, and I'm just a big Toys R Us kid. I can look at it critical. I can look at it now and go, God, they would have never done that. Or, when I watch it now, it's like, well, yeah, I forgot about the coconuts. I mean, they could take this sucker and make headphones out of them things. Come on. Or make a missile out of a bamboo tree or something.
They did make
Those MacGyver.
Like the coconuts, they did do it to where it could be a talking device.
Yeah. They had a telephone, coconut telephone. They had a coconut radio. They had a headphones. I remember that were a pair of coconuts. And of course, bamboo out the wazoo. I mean, everything from cars to tables to huts to you name it. They did it with bamboo, which was fun because you always saw the car one always cracks me up. I always still laugh at the car one.
Okay, then. Before we finish in this off, I want y'all to tell me what is the single most memorable moment? Just one moment. Whether Marianne kissed Gilligan, whether something emotional, just deep and emotional, whether it was something that was just so gut busting funny, just one memorable. Like,
well, I wouldn't call this gut busting, but it was the first season. They were trying to build them a hut because they thought they were going to rescue them, and it wasn't funny to me, but I kind of thought about it a little bit. They were listening to the radio, and they were all painting or whatever with the hut, and then on the radio, the man said, "I think it's been a week." He said, "We're going to give up the searching for the survivors of the SS Minnow." And at that moment, they were all listening to the radio. At that moment, they did nothing. Everybody kept doing what they was doing, but they didn't react or anything. I'm like, okay. They didn't react. They didn't like, oh my God, what? No. So I'm like, got some good times coming.
uh-huh.
So I'm just saying it's the fact that they didn't react like, anybody else would. Okay,
they're not gonna look for us anymore, huh?
Right. So, yeah.
What about you, Ken?
Let me think. Actually, I think the memory that stuck in the most was actually when they got rescued after watching all those seasons, and then they finally, I think it was where they had the storm coming through, and the little piece of the rocket or whatever they used to make like a magnet or a compass, and it told them the storm was coming, and they all got together. It was actually a realization that it's actually happening. We're actually going to get rescued.
Mm-hmm.
And they all got together, despite all their differences, despite everything else. They all got together for that one moment to put all their huts together and make one, I think it was a giant raft or whatever, and to save them. And so I think that was one of the ones that stuck in my head. Because, I mean, after having watched that show as a kid, and then the TV movies come on, and they're like, we're finally rescued. We're finally rescued. After you're like, all right. Oh, crap. They're back on the island again.
Yeah. That was kind of good stuff.
Twice. But yeah, I think that's one of the ones that sticks in. I mean, that's just one of those moments that stick in my head, and that just happened to kind of pop in my head as I was just going through all the episodes, because I'm pretty sure I've seen every episode of Gilligan's Island at one point in time, but it's been so long since I've seen a few that I had to kind of go and I don't remember that episode per se, and some I do, and I would love to just sit and watch the whole series all over again. Yeah, and just enjoy the old watching. You catch up on everything.
I gotta say, the one that I remember and I brought up earlier is when the guy with the movie, in fact, almost every single time, this is gonna be a culmination. Every single time they meet up with somebody, the people they meet up with know they're stuck on the island, willing to help them get off the island, and they just dip. And I'm like, do you know how just spiritually draining that is? I feel sorry for these people. They open their hearts, their home, and their resources to you, and y'all just abandon them. I'm like, no. But there is one thing I do regret about Gilligan's Island, and I wish they could have did it. And I never liked this for any long-running series. They stuck with the same cast the entire time. I was like, at least introduce a new character or something. That always gets me.
Okay, what are you talking about? It was 7 people.
Think about it. Remember we were talking about Ed, Edd and Eddy? I said I love this show to death, but my biggest problem is there was no new kids ever introduced.
Okay, but the thing was, they on Ed, Edd and Eddy, they could have, because they just lived in a cul-de-sac.
Yep.
And they could have ventured out. But with Gilligan's Island, it was an island. They introduced, new people, but
I'm saying not everybody's going to come to that island is going to be able to just leave. I'm like, I would have liked to seen at least 1 or 2 more characters being introduced throughout the series.
Gain some extra people.
Yeah. Because was it canceled?
It was.
Yeah.
You got to think about it. Maybe that was one of the reasons. Because if you're playing with the same characters for that long, there's only so much you can do with that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I would have liked to seen another character. Maybe somebody younger. Maybe somebody that was like a war veteran or something. Just something that kind of, add a bit of spice to the cast.
Yeah, because everybody just kind of came and went.
It would have changed it up. And I understand that, they have all of these other people come to the island and stuff. But it's, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Justice League. It's nice to have all those superheroes on one team, but you want to see a couple more join the team. Although that's probably a bad analogy. I'm all good for those. But do you have any finishing thoughts on this?
No, I definitely would not like to see a rehash of the series. I think it's great as it is and shouldn't be messed with.
I'll let it go then.
Okay, well, so I mean, it was canceled, but it wasn't like they had planned it because they was actually going to do a 4th season.
Yeah,
that's how cancellations normally happen.
Well, it was all about everybody was shifting to westerns like Gunsmoke and Bonanza and the demographics were changing.
Or even change the location. What if they got instead of them getting did they come back to that same island?
Yep.
See, what if they went to a new island? That'll change.
I think it's ironic that they came back to the same island they've been trying to get off for the last 3 seasons. I think that was all the irony.
And you see what I'm saying? That'll change the formula a bit.
It's like Lost. They can never leave the island.
Lost was totally different. But that's it for your closing argument. Yeah. All right, then, guys, you heard us talk about Gilligan's Island, more of them than me, and me putting in just being a douche.
Oh,
but it was nice to But anyways, guys, in the comment section below, let us know, what do you think about Gilligan's Island? Should there be a reboot? And tell us your favorite episodes, your favorite characters, and your favorite moments. And would you like to see the 4th season? Also, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on the Narik Chase channel. And remember, guys, join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays to get more videos. We're trying to do it big. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode of Breaking the Baits.